Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Business. Behind the Business has been wanting to feature Haseena from the Daily Dilemma, and finally we get to do it. The Daily Dilemma, or we should all rather say Haseena, will be one of the judges at Cook. I'm just sending the invite, sorry. The Chalo Let's Cook cooking challenge. So it would be really lovely to catch up with her and see her entire journey through it all. If you guys don't know what Chalo Let's Cook is, okay, we'll tell you in a bit. Here's Haseena. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you, Rosina?
Alhamdulillah, Haseena. It's so nice to touch base with you on my platform.
It is. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Haseena, we chatted a little bit actually at one of the events that we met about, talking about sharing your story. How did the Daily Dilemma start?
So I started because I joined one of these cooking groups, WhatsApp cooking groups. And well, basically I needed to cook. We used to enjoy cooking, surprise, surprise.
Like us all.
Yes, but yeah, so I decided to join one of, and they would, share recipes, and then they would want you to also share your recipes. So it started off making other people's recipes and sharing, pictures of how things turned out. And I was like, okay, so we're doing pretty good here. And as time went by, I started, experimenting a bit more in the kitchen, being a little bit
Yeah.
brave. And then I started sharing my own recipes, and a lot of the time, my moms, my grannies, all of that. So I guess it was somewhere in there, just needed to be,
And
triggered. And so,
did the Instagram platform that started first? Like you chose Instagram to be your platform.
yes, because the WhatsApp group I was on used to post to Instagram. And
Oh.
so they would, yeah, so they would want you, to share yours as well. It was like everybody should share what they do. So eventually, I think after about a year and a half, maybe I was like, okay, I think I need to start my own page because I'm sharing quite a bit. And, let's
Yes.
see how it goes. And at this time, it's not like now where there's like hundreds of, foodies and
Yeah, yeah,
influencers. We were
yeah,
like
yeah.
one of the first to start our own pages. And so, yeah, it was like a big thing. Like, okay, should we do this, or can I do it? Am I good enough? That was a big thing. Is this gonna happen? And then I was just like,
Wow.
okay,
So
let me
you
give it a try
also
and
you
see.
also asked yourself, am I good enough? Is that something that crossed your mind?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, don't we all do that? We always question ourselves. It comes from, you just sort of need that
Human
affirmation
nature,
that
I
I
think.
yes, yes. And I
You know,
guess we
Hasina,
don't
I
give
wanna
ourselves.
I wanna touch a little bit more on that because this is something, a lot of potential entrances would so someone is saying I lip read and it's so hard to see what you're saying with your parda. So sorry, you'll just have to get used to it. No parda leaving here. So um, Hasina, so many people are going to be doubting
Mm.
what they can do, and that doubt of am I good enough will actually stop them from entering Chalo Let's Cook.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that feeling of am I good enough and still putting yourself out there anyway.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody has that, it's always in you because you always question your own capabilities, and yet we're always so keen to help others and to motivate others and to promote them. And at some point you have to just say, well, I am good enough. What I can do, I will do, and what I can't. So hi Tasneem, bonjour. We can't speak French here. Um, so I think that, if you're having questions about, entering the competition and being like, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be a winner, I'm not going to be able to compete against
Mhm,
people who know more than me, who have more experience than me. But I mean,
mhm,
why? Why do you want to question that? Do what you can do, and you never know. I
mhm.
mean, you've never had that platform before. Maybe what you
Exactly.
have is something that, the others, sorry, I'm just seeing what they're saying here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't think,
You
I
try
mean,
to
just
relax
take,
it. How is it hard? You can hear what she's saying. Okay, guys, we're gonna just leave that whole discussion. Let's focus on what we have here. Um, so we obviously need to take advantage of Haseena's time. She's a very busy lady, and
no,
Alhamdulillah,
I'm so
she's
busy.
made time for Chalo Let's Cook's interview. So let's focus and bring everybody to that. Haseena, I love how you said just do it, just try.
Yeah, if you don't take the chance, if you don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt, you will never know. So
Yes,
why
I'm just
why
gonna
not even
mention,
try?
you brought that up, but today, Alhamdulillah, Hasina is actually sitting on 70,000 Instagram followers. You get paid for what you do as an influencer. It's grown to a point where maybe you didn't expect it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think because you if you do something that you enjoy, which I mean, I never enjoyed cooking, but eventually it became something that I did enjoy because
I
of the
can't
creativity.
believe it when
No,
you and Tasneem both say
trust
I never enjoyed cooking. I'm at that point in my life where I feel like I have to cook. I've got 5 children. If I don't cook, people will starve. So it's
Well, that's
I
the
am.
thing. For me, it was okay, so now I have to cook, but if I'm not going to enjoy it, um, I need to do it in such a way that I do enjoy it. So what happened was, I think the creativity and plus the pictures, the photography, that part of it appealed to me. So over time, I started spending more time plating, setting up my pictures. You won't believe the amount of effort that goes into that. And I think
I'm sure.
yeah, so I mean, if you see a fancy picture on my plate, don't think that that was what was on my table. My family will tell you that they eat out of the pots while I have, all the fancy dishes that I've, photographed. And usually, I have to plan my time so that I cook early so that I have enough time to photograph whatever I want to. Um, and because otherwise, my family's waiting, like, can we eat? Where's the food? What's going on? But yeah.
So
Um,
tell us what it's like going to a restaurant. Because I know, when you're with family, you with your kids, your husband, and then you still busy taking these pictures. Tell us what it's like when you're doing that from a behind the scene point of view.
okay, so like when we invited for a review or something like that. So my kids, they know. Okay, so this time we're going and look, I've got to take pictures and we have to make sure that I have enough content, especially when it's like a
Yeah.
paid, campaign or paid review or something like
Mhm.
that. That becomes my job. So I always take them with, but shame, they're really good and they know, like you hear my kids saying, Mommy, can we eat
And
now?
your and your
I'm
and your
like,
and your husband, does he patiently wait while you're holding the
yeah,
camera?
shame.
And
He's become like yeah. It's like behind the scenes, like, okay, set this. Can you hold this? Can you take this picture? And I'm always like, I don't put myself out there. Always, it's like,
yeah,
do the hand,
no.
do the coffee cup,
So
do the
Hasina was
whatever.
like, why are you doing this to me, Hasina? I don't like to feature personally on my page. You will always just see the thumb ring or the shoes. But this is what behind the business is all about. It's about meeting the person behind, realizing that there's a real human being with all the same doubts or, you know,
No, for sure.
what's in between. And I think it's really important to mention it, especially when you are a judge, and 70,000 followers. Hasina, that can sound extremely intimidating to somebody who is now going to bring their humble plate for you to taste.
But I
But,
mean, yeah, it's not just, I mean, for me, I don't focus on the numbers. For me, I'm still that person who started, I have the same insecurities I had when I started my page. It's not up to today when I make something and I take a picture of it, or if I'm doing content for the brand or anything like that, I still, will question the same the same questions will still surface. Is this good enough? Have I done a good enough job? Does it taste good? And that's where you get other people, you get your support system, and that's what you always need, people who have your back, and they,
Yes.
this is good, and just go for it. And this itself, like, this is a lot for me. Like I said, I've never put myself out there, but
Yes.
sometimes you have to step up a little bit to, and in terms of the number, like I said, it's 70,000. It's not like, for me, it's like, okay, I'm still that same person. If you know me, if
Yes.
you know my page, if you interact with me, I'm still that person who will answer DMs. I will still, respond to comments. I interact with each of the people that do interact with me. It's not,
Yes.
I try to keep myself at that level where it's not, I don't want it to go to my head and be like, I'm this person. Yesterday we were at an event and there were other celebrities, South African celebrities, and we were just saying, for us, they are like, oh my God, it's her, it's Dolamene or it's whoever, and it's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone said to us, but to us, you are like that, and it's like so strange,
Yes.
because if you don't think of yourself that way, but it's not, we shouldn't. At the end of the day, how my page started, I wanted to always stay that way, and I always wanted to be something that you as a follower can relate to, and I try to keep it as real as possible. So I think a lot of the time we lose ourselves in that whole sense of, this is an Instagram page, I have so many thousands, millions of followers, and you
Yes.
become this
But
other
it
person. But
can definitely be intimidating. And I'm
yeah,
glad that, we have this opportunity to feature you. And I know it's definitely something out of your comfort zone, but, seeing you in your sharing your own insecurities with everybody, it definitely makes it more real for people to say, maybe I can do
for
this.
sure.
Maybe I can
And
present something to
yeah, so
Haseena.
if
It won't be
if
so
they're
scary.
thinking of, if they're thinking of entering, and it's the thought in their mind, and they're like, will I be good enough? Can I do it? Don't just go for it. You have nothing to lose. You never know what it can do for you. You don't know how it can benefit you in the long term. Maybe you need something in your life to push you along another direction, or you at that point where you're like, what do I do? I have the skill. Should I pursue this sort of direction in my life, or am I focusing on, just go for it, take a chance. It's this weekend. I mean, the tryouts, the auditions are this weekend.
Yes.
And just, you have nothing to lose. Go for it, try it out. You never know, you might be that one person who makes this
Inshallah.
excellent dish. And I don't think you should be scared or nervous in terms of who the judges are. I think there's like some amazing judges with me, like they're chefs. So for me, it's like, oh my God, am I going to be good enough with those chefs? They're like,
You
I'm going to
see,
say, oh, this is tasty. And
there's
they're going to be
always that insecurity, It's just, personally, I think, Asina, you will hold your line so well next to all of those chefs. And, I want to share a story. My mom was with a professional chef in the kitchen when we went to a family function, and we were allowed to now take over the kitchen. And my mom was obviously doing the prep work for the family, and they had their chef there to assist my mom. And this chef was watching my mom, and my mom was just doing what she does, her normal. And the chef says to my mother, I think you must learn from me, and I will learn from you.
for sure.
And my mom is nowhere in a professional space, but I can tell you something, knowing that my mom's food tastes amazing and can match any chef. And you are the same, Haseena. And just as people feel that, am I going to? Will I be able to? Yeah, we hearing from Haseena herself. Will I be able to stand next to a professional
Of
chef?
course, there's always
Oh,
that.
we all
You will never be, and that's what motivates a person in life. There's always something to aim towards, to be better. There's no, you're always reaching towards something. If you just stagnate and be like, okay, I'm good, I'm sitting here, I'm not going to
yeah,
go further, I'm not going to try, what's the point then? And I think that's the thing with my page as well. It gave me that opportunity to
keep
churn,
growing.
to keep growing. And alhamdulillah, like you said, with the brands and stuff like that, that comes. It comes through the person you are. Your work speaks for itself. What you do, shows. So at some point, you will get what you are meant to get. Okay, so try, and for sure, like if you're
Try.
looking, yeah, so go for it.
Hasina,
Try and be
obviously
part of the.
your page is majority focused around food, and like you say, it's something that you are regularly invited to review restaurants and things like that. So being a food critic has become somewhat of a part-time space for you. You know, now that you're in that space for a while, do you have a specific preference, or is there a dish when you presented it in a certain way, you already know I love it. This 10 points to you. Is there something that's going to win you over as a judge?
So if I see something on some, like if someone makes something, oh my
Yeah.
word, it's always we we look at dishes first. So if something is visually beautiful,
Yeah.
it's definitely going to win you
All the
some
judges are
points
saying we eat
because
with our eyes first. Everyone.
exactly. So I mean that's what we see first. So if something comes to you and it looks good, that's going to be
Mhm.
already like I want to try that. So presentation is important. Although sometimes, you can taste a dish after it looks so beautiful and it's not as good as it should be, after you looked at it.
Right.
So equally in terms of, okay, yes, you'll reach for the one or you'll be excited to try it if it looks, good.
Mhm.
Flavor is important. And I think that we, especially in our culture and like the Indian community, we like things that have a lot of flavor. We don't want
Mhm.
bland food.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean it has to be masala or chili or whatever. It just needs to have
Yes.
flavor. So that's important. And I would definitely be, um, if I get a dish that has a lot of flavor in it, that would be good. So looks good, tastes really good. If you give me a dessert, I really don't mind. I mean, that's always right up there. Um,
The sweet tooth calls
yeah,
you, right?
yeah. Well, I'm known for my love of sweet things, and yeah. So that's
So we've
that's.
we've
It's not
spoken
the.
about how to win you. What would be the one thing that would lose you? What is something that if you see it, it's a total red flag, something you really, oh no, not me. What would that be? Something that, if they face you as a judge, give them a tip, Hasina, and tell them, here's a tip, avoid this.
Okay, I think firstly they'll be very lucky to have me as a judge because I think I'll be nice. I'm always that person who looks for the good. So even if you give me like a really, okay, I really struggled with that dish, but like I tried and I put something in front of you, I'll be like, okay, so it looks colorful. You put some garnish on it. You
Be
cook
nice.
great. Good
Won't
point.
we won't
So okay, so that I will always be that person to look for the good in whatever there is. So I won't be the mean judge. I don't think so. This meme, I don't think I'll be the mean judge. But um, but in terms of
on
that
your
you're really
grade,
not going.
though, if you had to
Look,
grade, what would be something that would, lower the scoring rate for you?
well, for sure, your food has to be cooked, right? Especially if you're cooking meat and stuff like that. So raw food, overcooked, like seafood, if it's overcooked, and that would definitely be something that would stand out as not good. Um, Also, like I said, flavor. If you give me something that really doesn't taste good, that would be it. So so things like that. I would
Yeah.
probably like really those are the things that you wouldn't. Probably everybody who's entering probably won't have those issues, inshallah. So
Inshallah. I
um,
mean,
I think that I think that so yeah, it won't be. So those are just the main things. Like don't just the normal things that you would never eat as a person would be like, yeah, small things
Interesting.
like that.
Hasina, I would love to sit and chat with you, but both our busy lives are calling. So
Yes,
we're
school
just going
runs.
to round up and I'm going to ask you, Shasmeen from Shasmeen's Patisserie said, Salam, beautiful ladies. There's
Walaikum
another
salam.
fantastic and amazing woman that joined the platform over there. Um, let's just have a final bit of advice, a parting word from you.
Let's make it about the competition, seeing that that's what we're talking about. Look, Tasneem's put a lot of effort into this. It's been her dream to have this sort of competition amongst for everyone, basically, and something that's specifically catering to the halal sort of community. And I think that what I would say is go for it, enter, and there's so much opportunity for you. It's only going to get better. So don't question your abilities right now. Take the chance. It's going to happen in the June holidays, so it should be a little bit easier. And
Yes.
Like I said, it doesn't matter, something that starts off small. Myself as a, key example there, I never thought that, one day I'd be sitting, like you say, with so many followers, but it's something that happens. And if you don't put the effort in, it's not going to happen. So yes, it's your taqdeer, everything is laid out for you, but also put the effort in. And inshallah, you never know. I mean, if you win this, that just puts you in a different category, and you don't know what opportunities can, come about because of it. So I would say just go for it, take the chance. And things are tough
Yes,
nowadays,
I
but
love what you've said. Chalo Kawa Tasneem sent a message to say thank you for being part of making this dream come true. It's amazing how women really pull together to see each other's visions, and I love seeing so many dynamic people work together. I'm really looking forward to seeing this thing fall through. Haseena, before we leave, I just want to thank the one lady that stood up for the niqab there before we cut off. I appreciate it, and I just obviously needed to cut you off to focus on the interview that was at hand, but I do appreciate it. Haseena, Jazakallah khairan for your love and for all the advice for everybody out there. We appreciate everything, and Jazakallah khair for featuring on Behind the Business. Till we meet again and catch up again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.